Right now on the Bear Blitz, kicking things off in style, the Bears and Packers are ready to raise the curtain on the NFL season with a primetime Thursday night game. It's a new look for this longtime series and a new look for the Packers this year.
Plus, the Bears got a taste of the playoffs last year. It didn't go down so well, and now they want another chance, a chance at the entire playoff pie.
And just how much better could this Bear squad get? Did they only scratch the surface last season?
It's time to kick off the Bear Blitz.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Bear Blitz. We are back for season number 6 with our weekly look at the Chicago Bears. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm Samantha Rivera. There's no game this weekend, but we are getting a jump on this season because the Bears are getting a jump on things with their first Thursday night opener in franchise history. They'll be hosting the Green Bay Packers at Soldier Field Thursday. The NFL is bringing these two historic franchises together to start the season to mark the Bears' 100th anniversary season. 100
years of Bears football and the 199th meeting between these franchises. The Packers hold a slight 2-game edge in the series. Kickoff Thursday night will be at 7:20 Central Time, 8:20 Eastern. The game will be televised on NBC. This year's a little bit of a role reversal for these two teams. For once, it's the Bears who are coming off a division championship and a playoff berth, and it's the Packers who are trying to bounce back after missing out on the playoffs again last season for the second straight year.
Yeah, the 6-9-1 record by the Packers last season didn't go over very well, so they made a lot of changes. We get more on that in our weekly scouting report. The biggest change had the Packers switching head coaches. Matt LaFleur was brought in to bring some fresh air into the team. Last year, LaFleur was the offensive coordinator for the Titans. 2 years ago, he was the offensive coordinator for the Rams.
He is the 15th head coach in Packers history. He knows in Green Bay it's all about competing for the Lombardi Trophy.
I want to develop a championship culture. It's filled with high character people. We are going to be process driven in the pursuit of bringing a Lombardi Trophy back here to Green Bay.
Well, the big question in Green Bay since LaFleur was hired has been, will he and Aaron Rodgers hit it off? LaFleur is a rookie head coach. He's only a few years older than Rodgers is. Rodgers and McCarthy seemingly weren't on the same page in recent years. In Green Bay, it's all about Aaron Rodgers, and LaFleur has done his best to try to have some give and take with his franchise quarterback when it comes to the offense.
It's not necessarily about what I've done in my past or what he's done in his past. It's about how do we make this the Packers offense and us coming together to get us functioning at the highest possible level.
And Samantha, in this game Thursday night, we will see two head coaches in Matt LaFleur and Matt Nagy who have a lot in common.
Yeah, we will. For starters, they're both named Matts. They're also two of the youngest head coaches in the NFL. LaFleur is 39, Nagy is 41. Both of them played quarterback in arena leagues. Both men have laid-back, easygoing personalities. In other words, they're nothing like Vince Lombardi and George Halas were.
Well, will this head-to-head matchup between them be the first of many? We'll see how long these two can hold down these two jobs. Now, getting back to all the changes the Packers made, they have shuffled their roster. Clay Matthews and Nick Perry are gone. The Packers went hard on the defensive side in free agency and threw a lot of money at Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, hoping to ramp up their pass rush. They're both listed right now as starting at outside linebacker. They combined for 12.5 sacks last season with their former teams, the Redskins and the Ravens. On the backside, they gave a 4-year, $37 million contract to former Bears safety Adrian Amos. Most people not named Brian Gutekunst thought that was way overpaying for Amos.
Yeah, he was solid with the Bears. That's probably the best thing you could say about him. The Packers also used their first 2 picks in the draft on defensive players, defensive lineman Rashawn Gary and safety Darnell Savage Jr.
But the key guy for that defense is defensive coordinator Mike Pettin. He's sort of their Vic Fangio. He was brought back despite the head coaching change. Well, the Bears and Packers split their 2 meetings last season. They opened up in prime time at Lambeau Field, only that was a Sunday night game. 2 things that stood out about that game. One, it was the debut of Khalil Mack as a Chicago Bear. All he did was have 1 sack, a forced fumble, and a pick 6. The other thing that stood out was Kyle Fuller dropping an interception that was thrown right in his hands in the 4th quarter. That could have sealed that game for the Bears. Instead, they lost 24-23 on a great Aaron Rodgers-led second-half comeback.
The Bears were devastated after that game, but they got their revenge December 16th at Soldier Field. They beat the Packers 24-17. The Bears had 5 sacks in that game, 2.5 by Mack. That was the game when Eddie Jackson snapped Rodgers' NFL record streak of 402 consecutive passes without an interception. But Jackson's season ended when he was injured on the return. And of course, the Bears also clinched the division championship with that win. And from there, the Bears closed out December with 2 more wins, and then they headed into the playoffs.
Yeah, that was the last time we saw the Bears in action in a game that counted. In the playoffs, in a wild card game against the Eagles at Soldier Field in January. Mitch Trubisky, in his first playoff game, broke Sid Luckman's Bears playoff record by passing for 303 yards. But the offense really struggled in the red zone. And there were 2 key plays at the end of the game. Eagles quarterback Nick Foles hitting Golden Tate for a 2-yard touchdown with 56 seconds to play. That gave the Eagles a 16-15 lead. And then the play that will live in infamy for the Bears. I can't say it, Samantha. You say it.
It was a double doink.
I'm closing my eyes.
It really is. Cody Parkey missing a 43-yard field goal attempt on the final play of the game when the ball hit the left upright and then the crossbar. With that, Staley, the mascot, collapsed, and so did the Bears' Super Bowl hopes. They lost 16-15. That would be the final field goal attempt for Parkey as a Chicago Bear.
I feel terrible. Let the team down. That's on me. So I have to own it. I have to be a man, and it's unfortunately that's the way it went today.
Things happen for a reason, man. Yeah, that was tough, but just got to learn from this, man, and keep it pushing.
We know what it takes to win, and we have the pieces of the puzzle to win. We just need to finish.
And that's what this season is all about, finishing the job and making a run at the Super Bowl.
And the entire offseason, or at least a huge chunk of it, was about trying to find a reliable kicker. The Bears looked over about a dozen guys in the spring. They got that down to 2 by training camp, Eddie Pinheiro and Elliott Fry. For now, they have settled on Pinheiro. He has never kicked a field goal in a regular season NFL game, but he did boot a 58-yarder last week in preseason action in Indianapolis, and that kick was a big boost to his confidence, but it was an even bigger boost to his teammates who were watching on the sideline. Well, that was big for Pinheiro, but there is no job security when you're an NFL kicker.
Yeah, he'll need to prove throughout the season that he can do the job. But Scott, the kicker is about the only real change we've seen with the Bears. The only change on offense is at running back, where the Bears have a new group of guys. On defense, they lost 2 players, Amos and Bryce Callahan. You don't find that type of continuity in the NFL.
And that's why the Bears believe they will be better than they were last year. Continuity. They have a lot of young guys who should get better. Mitch Trubisky, you would think, will be better with another year of experience. Allen Robinson's coming into the season completely healthy, and we think they'll be better at running back with David Montgomery. And as great as the defense was last year, it could be better too.
Yeah, just look at how some of how young some of these guys are. Eddie Jackson and Eddie Goldman are only 25. Bilal Nichols and Roquan Smith are only 22, and Leonard Floyd, he's 26. You could also add in there Clinton Dix, who's 26, and Kyle Fuller, who's 27. That's why Ryan Pace believes the best of the Bears is still to come.
We have a lot of young players that are all still getting better, and a lot of these guys are talented players that have had success last year, but still improving, still incrementally getting better. We're excited. We're excited about what we have going right now.
If that defensive unit can stay healthy, look out.
Yeah, the defense does have a new leader, though, this year. His name is Chuck Pagano. We'll explore how he's approached taking over such a talented group when the Bear Blitz continues.
Plus, how high are Bears fans on this team in this season? We'll get some fan feedback.
And Nahal Barkish is ready to share his knowledge of the Bears once again as he returns for his 4th season as our Bear Blitz analyst. Don't go away.